Yeah. To another price tag aquarium slash price tag experience live stream. I hope all is well with everybody. I'm here with me, myself, and I in the wonderful fish room. We're going to be doing some water changes, so I'll be kind of up and about this morning. So hopefully you guys are all doing swell on your happy Hope Day Wednesday live stream. Yeah. So good morning to you, Ian. Good morning to you, Cheryl. Let me know if if you guys the audio and visual is okay, nothing's too choppy, or you can hear me just fine. Um, since I'm doing a water change live stream today, I'm wearing uh-oh. Here, all right, we're back. They call this mic a lavalier, so that way it gets me free roaming to walk wherever I want to in the fish room without being totally set in here with just a mic. So cool. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate it. So yeah, this is something that's going to be new. I haven't done a water change live stream in a long time, so whoever wants to pop in and out and stop in and say hello, I appreciate it. But I'm going to be starting with the tanks behind me, and then after that, we'll just go to each tank. So hope everything is going well with you guys in your fish rooms, and hope you guys got some new fish, from the new year, and have some new projects set in line for you guys. You can always let me know what you guys have going on this year, so we can keep the conversation flowing as I'm doing water changes. But yeah, this is different. I haven't done a live stream in the morning in a very long time. I don't even remember the last time I did it. It's probably been almost a year maybe, because I'm usually always doing live streams in the evenings. And I haven't done any in the past couple weeks because it's just been so busy between work and life and everything else that's been going on. So I do apologize for not being on as often as I would like to. But all in all, it's great to be here. It's great to see you guys on this wonderful Wednesday. It is finally above freezing here in Ohio, and it has been below freezing for what I feel like has been way longer than it needed to be. So um, yeah, yesterday it hit like 50 degrees compared to like the negative degree temperatures and wind chill that we've been having lately. This like 1 foot snow that we've had, it finally starting to disappear a little bit. Granted, we still have like 6 more inches to go before it fully disappears, but the roads are clear, the driveways are clear. You can actually start doing stuff outside for once, so it is all good. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in and do some of these water changes, and then you guys can hang out with me for a little bit. I do have obviously my 220 over there. I'm gonna be doing a water change on that as well. But we're gonna start with the tanks behind me, and as I'm doing the water changes, I'll come back, with on my laptop and just see what I've missed and catch up with you guys, and then just feel free to say hello, because every little bit helps, right? So, at any rate, good morning. Hope you guys are having a great morning, having your cup of coffee, whatever. I would normally have coffee, but the fish room down here is very, very warm. So now I'm just drinking vitamin water with ice in it. So I have to save the coffee for later, because if I drink hot coffee down here and let me see here. It is, yeah, it's actually 80 degrees in here. It's a little too warm. I might have to turn it down a little bit, because I did check the temperature on my 220 and it was about 80 degrees. I'd like to see it maybe a couple of degrees cooler than that. But yeah, you guys can pop in and say hello, and anyone else who comes in, feel free to say hi. I'll be out and about doing water changes. So I have everything started, or I have everything set up but not started. So I'm going to go ahead and hop to it. One thing that I thought was really funny. Let me see if I can do this here. Let me see if I can pan this camera here. I can pan it a little bit. Zoom in. Move it up. So here's my Mbuna tank. We'll zoom in a little bit more. Then we'll make this one the main one. Oop, sorry guys. Hey Polly, sweet Polly, thanks for coming in. This Kenny eye, when I was cleaning the glass, he does not like this mag float. He wants this area all to himself. He doesn't even want me to be here. If I go like anywhere else, if I go up here, whatever, he kind of doesn't bother it. But like it seems like this is his zone right here. Because he does not like me using the glass cleaner here. So if I go over here, he kind of pecks out a little bit. But I was cleaning this glass right before I came on live in here, and he kind of just, that's his spot right here. So anytime I come over here, he does not like it. He doesn't really bother much of the fish a whole lot, thankfully, unless they're in his area. He just kind of chases them away from this whole area right here. So I thought that was kind of amusing. All right, so let me go back to here. And then go to the middle, zoom out a little bit more. And then we'll start here. So anyway, thanks for coming in. Say hello to me in the chat, and I'm going to get started. So good morning to everybody. Good afternoon and good evening to everybody else, like Ian, who's like 5 hours ahead of me. So it's 10, 11, 12. So it's probably 3 p.m. your time. But at any rate, let's get started. Interrupted too much. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I tested this out last night, and it should be okay. I have an FX2 with this and Boona tank. That's how I filter this one. These two in-wall tank setups are actually probably the most difficult. Not that they're challenging at all, but they're probably the most difficult to do water changes on. Just because of the fact that I can't see a whole lot, but I try to do the best I can. Which it looks like it's okay, so. Voila, we have water flowing. All right, I'm back. 3:16 p.m. and I'm sounding great. Sweet. Yeah, this live relay is kind of neat. I'm able to kind of do some free roaming and stuff. I want to do more of this live stream so that way I'm not just confined into one spot. Especially since I have a new camera too. So everything's supposed to be pretty crystal clear. I want to be able to roam around, and then what StreamYard doesn't let you do unless you have like the full high price package to have like an extra camera, you can kind of cheat the way through it, and you can invite yourself into the live stream and then just use your phone. So that's how I'm able to have this second camera here. So, hi Jody. Let me see. Cheryl says I need to start doing more changes on all the Cory tanks. Love Corys. I want to get like a fish tank that has just a ton of Corys in them, like all different kinds. I think that would be really neat to see a bunch of them scurrying all above the bottom or around the bottom. Maybe like have like a planted tank with like a bunch of neon tetras and Corys in it. I think that would be kind of neat. Barometric pressure will be topping out in a few hours and dropping sharply over the next few days. Yikes. Yeah, our temperature's been pretty bad, but thankfully the next few days is supposed to be at least above freezing during the daytime. So what I usually do for my Mbuna tanks, or actually all of tanks down here, is I try to do about a 40% water change. If it's pushing about a month before I do a water change, I'll try to do about a 50 or 60% water change. But if I do it, let's see how long, well, my phone's up there, I would check my app, but I think it's been about 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks since I've done water changes down here. So I try to do about 40, and if it goes to 50%, that's fine too. So that's kind of what I do. My app is on my phone. It tells me when I need to do water changes, of course. So crazy thing is the app that I use is no longer even on the Google Play Store, which I think is crazy. Because I've been using that for years now, since 2020, and you would think that it would update or whatever. So yeah, I usually try to typically do about a 40 to 50% water change, especially with African cichlids. And of course, like the stocking that I have in my fish tanks, everything's pretty much overstocked for the most part. So I like to try to keep things, a little bit less than a month. But if I go, like if life gets busy, then I usually do about 50 or 60% if it's, like I said, like once a month. But I try not to go that long, honestly. Cheryl's got 31 tanks with 33 species of koi. It's gonna be a long day. Man, that's a lot of species. That's awesome. But yeah, good morning, Jody. Thanks for coming in and appreciate it. Yeah, that's a lot. I gotta stop this water, so hang on, guys. And then what I use to fill it back up is I've been using this Python hose for a long time now with the hook on it, and I absolutely love it. I have no complaints. So I'll get back to you guys here in a minute, and I can kind of show you my process here too. But once I get a good state of emptying and adding at the same time, I can kind of show you guys the back of my in-wall setup for anyone who hasn't seen it. Hey, Greg, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. I'm gonna go to the other room and get my water started on my slop sink. So I'll be right back. Hope you guys can still hear me. Only bad part is it takes forever to get my water temperature close to what I want it to be. So I just use one of these. I know you can use like you can just feel it with your hand, but I like using one of these. I just usually use it for like meat when you're cooking. Hi Ed, thanks for popping in. But everything should be good. Water's pumping out of my brute trash can. $77.5. There might be a little bit more of an adjustment, but let me put some Chem Safe in here because we all know how safe it is. I don't even need to talk about it. I thought it was really neat that Jose Joy of Fish Keeping did a whole process on that of why it's safe. It's crazy how you have to use, or you barely use any of this stuff whenever you use it. I mean, this stuff is going to last way longer than anything else I've ever used. All right. So next, you can plug this, sit it there. Now, you'll see the light go off like you just did. Every fish tank in my fish room has like a slightly different way of doing things, except for like my 60s and 75s. Okay, we have water flowing. All right. Yeah, I agree, Ian. I definitely agree with that. Got a couple of Facebook likes coming in. Ed Moats and Renee. Dick, I'm gonna butcher this, but Dicker, Decker. Anyways, but thank you for the likes. I appreciate it on Facebook and coming in and hanging out for a little bit. I should probably clean the glass on this one. This magnet's gonna fall down. Here he goes, Bob. Good thing that's a small magnet. Okay. Change date is active. I don't really have much concern with cleaning the glass in this fish tank, just because of the fact of I have a pleco in here and some yo-yo loaches that are a pretty good cleanup crew. I don't really have to do any decor cleaning for that exact reason, which is pretty nice. Of course, everyone's hiding right now because they have no idea what's going on. Oh, they probably do. They just do what they do. Oop, that's the wrong side. But anyways, once I get this, oh boy, it's all the way over there. We'll get it later. I'll set this right here. I'll get that little magnet later. Hey, Jesse, I'm sure you're working. I appreciate you coming in, Jesse. Tighten it up, just dropping in to say hi. Jesse's giving me a hard time, like always. All right, I gotta stop this. Hopefully I won't hurt anybody. The one geo's kind of underneath the, yeah, might have to fix this here. And not hurt anybody. I don't think he liked that. I feel like the geo is getting, they're not really aggressive, like really aggressive per se. But I feel like since he's getting older, just like with any cichlid, they like their place in line. And I don't know what Geo is a female and what Geo is a male. Um, so I feel like since they're getting older, I don't know if they're like trying to lay eggs. I think they lay eggs, I believe. Um, but I feel like since they're older, I feel like they're trying to get their place as far as territory and that sort of thing. So my whole plan actually is to get all these guys a bigger home, and that process is already in the works. You know, the beginning process of it. Because I am actually, to let you guys know, I'm getting a 200-gallon tank off a marketplace. I got another really good deal off of it, and it's going to be a lot similar setup to what the 220 is, except there's no canopy on the top. But other than that, that whole process is starting up again. You know, bringing the 220 or the 200 in, bringing it down here. If I had time, I'd show you guys the this guy that I got this tank from. He's got his own little pond in his basement. Like, it's not just like your normal black little insert that you'd put in the ground, or it's nothing like just like a tub. He actually bought a small pool and put it down in there, and he put arowanas in it, some big catfish in there, giant peacock bass. It was really, really cool. So let me tend to this water here. Keep an eye on this thing while I'm still chatting with you guys. But yeah, this guy that I'm getting this 200-gallon tank from, he's he's a real nice gentleman. I got to talk to him a little bit, and he knows all about Ohio Fish Rescue, because I believe that's what he said, where he got the idea from. And he just bought a small pool, set it all up, lined it out, and now he has these big fish in this pond. And he actually wants to get an even bigger one. He wants to upgrade his pond. I think that, and he was getting rid of fish tanks already, and this was like his last one down there that he was getting rid of. And he wants to have an even bigger pond. So he was a nice guy. I'm looking forward to getting this tank here on Saturday morning. So that's going to be exciting. Going to do that whole process again. I'm not going to be setting it up soon, but it will be down kind of like the last process I did, whereas I bring it down and set it in the basement for now, and then I wait to clear more tanks up, and then I set it up later on. So that's how that's going to go. But I'm excited for it. I get to find a new home for my geos and firemouths and redhead tapajos. I think they all just need, especially the geos, they need a lot more swimming room. We, I'm not doing a whole lot of maintenance as far as the tanks go. Mainly just doing water changes today. And if the glass needs cleaned, which I do have to clean one of mine for sure, which my planted tank is actually not doing too well. But you'll see that here in a little bit for all who stick around. But long story short, my planted tank is not doing well. I only got 2 types of plants, and the one plant has already been long gone. And then hi Lana, if you can hear me and see me. She said Gura is not talking to me. Hi Alana. This is the way I can see you if you're still watching. But yeah, my plant tank isn't doing very well. And I believe it's just because the fish that are in there. I believe that it could have something to do with the it's probably has something to do with the, I want to say the severums, maybe between the severums, the red-tailed sharks, and the Synodontis catfish. I believe that they're just snipping off the leaves and munching on those, because I was going to put a pleco in there, but I don't think I'm going to do that now, because obviously they're algae eaters. So, oh, she's talking. Okay, cool. That's funny. But yeah, I think I have a different plan, actually. So I think what I want to do is, once I get a new home for these guys and that tank is all set up over there where my other tanks are at, what I want to do is move all these guys to the big tank, and then I would actually have this tank as an angelfish tank. And that's when I do like angelfish specifically, maybe throw in some neon tetras in there to kind of mix it up with the colors a little bit. But I think that's kind of my plan, what I want to do with that fish tank. So we have another Facebook like that came in too as well. Robert Steiger, thanks for that like. I appreciate it, and hanging out, and feel free to say hello if you want. Every little bit counts, right? So let me I can actually show you guys what I do with this tank, actually. All right, so long story short, as you follow me around, what I do with this, and I don't have a long enough hose, so that's the whole reason why, but this here just goes into the brute trash can, and then it goes from here where I use this, and I put it in each one of these tanks, obviously. And then I just go from here into there, and then I have this long old hose I use just for discharge only. I don't use this to put water back in, because the hose is very, very dirty and very, it's just been used for a while. I've had it for years, and it's just black. It used to be clear when I first got it, and it's just black, so I just use it just to take water out. And then this just fills up, and then after that, then I'll go to probably these four next, or this one of the two. And then we'll go to the 220. So that's kind of my process behind all that. But gotta pay attention to the water. Hopefully Alana's doing good. So hi, Alana. But yeah, everything's, as far as the fish room goes, I really haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had any deaths or anything. Anything that's real dramatic. Thankfully everyone's living. I'm going to do some fish movement as well here in this week. Not in preparation for the 200, but just in general, I got to move some male peacocks over to the 220, and then I'm hopefully maybe this weekend or sometime soon I can donate the smaller females to my local fish store around here. So that would be nice. Thanks, Ian. Yeah, it's a pretty good process. I like it. I might have to cool the water down a little bit. I'm not emptying a tank right now because I want to try to watch this water level, but I do need to. I just now thought of it. I had to stop this water in this trash can because it's almost empty. The only bad thing about the in-wall tank setup is this, is an aqua decor background, and then that's just your normal background you just tape on the back. Is if I'm back there, I can't see the water levels unless I come up front. Hi, Lana. Alana's coming in. I have to watch my tank level, Alana. So you were really determined. Yeah, I just wanted to see what I was doing, huh? Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't have you up here, okay? But go with mom, okay? I'm gonna be busy. I don't want to overfill my tanks, so thanks for coming by to see me. Love you both. My daughter just had to come down and see me. She didn't want to see me on camera anymore, apparently. She didn't want to see my ugly mug. No. Just about filled up on the Central and South American tank. Just about done. Son, they were supposed to go to story time this morning, and my daughter decided to sleep in way late. So they weren't even supposed to be here while I was doing this. So this might interrupt my live stream. And of course, if you guys all know a thing or two about toddlers, is they're not very patient. So, all right, I gotta stop the water because I have no fish tanks emptying right now. So I gotta stop the water here. Hey, you. Yeah, yeah. Stay with Mama, right? You're gonna go to Dunkin' and get donuts? Yeah, I'll be done when you come back. Okay. Okay. I'll see you in a couple hours. Yep. We'll see how long this lasts. This live stream could very likely be cut short, but we'll see. Like I said, this was supposed to be planned out to where they were going to be going to story time, but since that's not the case anymore, I might get interrupted. Which, with kids, for anyone who has kids, who has had kids, should know whenever you have little kids, you could have a plan to do whatever you want, and that could go south at any point. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, let's move to the let's go to these ones. Now what I can do is I don't need to use this green pump anymore, at least for right now. I can just use the CJ Ultra Zero pump and go straight into the bathroom. So I will do that. Whoops. I don't need this. These things, I use these things all the time in the fish room. is I have like these, that's like an on off switch and a plug. So if I need to switch something off real quick, especially if I'm like where I'm at by the fish tanks, I don't have to go and run the cord down real quick, say if I have an emergency or something like that. So I wouldn't think so, Ian. I wouldn't think so. I think you should be fine. You'll be all right. Have you decided to put that shelf up there then? Seems like you're pretty solid on that, which would be a nice setting, but my fish room preferences, we've already talked about that. But it's just how I like things set up. I know a lot of people like putting fancy stuff up in their fish room, especially if it's a presentable spot. Because I'm debating about putting like one of those canvas pictures above my frontosa tank, and I would have to drill some holes in the wall for that too. All right, there we go. Get this turned on. So yeah, I'm just going to be doing each one of these tanks. It's a 60-gallon, two 60s, two 75s down here, and this hose is just going straight over here. And then once we do this, we'll move over here to my planted tank, which is not doing well, like I said. Um, the fish is kind of nibbling at the tops of the plants. I really can't zoom in a whole lot. I can go full screen. Let me go full screen with this real quick. Set you guys here so you guys can see what I mean. You're welcome, Ian. All right, so here, this tank is so dark, and granted, I know that there's a black background on this, but because of the driftwood in here, especially this center, it just, the tannins on it are just so bad with just that one piece alone. And tannins I know are healthy for fish, but with all these different color fish, like the rainbow fish, turquoise rainbow fish, the Dorites, and like just the colors, especially with like the red fins, like that, sometimes far away all you see is the red fins of these red-tailed sharks. Sometimes they're just really hard to see, and I really want to see more color out of the severums here. But you just hardly see any of these fish because, one, the black background, I was debating about getting a lighter one to see if I like that better. I was thinking of removing the black background, which I like, but as far as the tannins and how heavy it is, this tank is so dark, and I really want to see the colors of these fish a lot more. And I just feel like the black background isn't helping along with the tannins, and I might remove the driftwood too and put maybe fake driftwood in, or I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I've also heard that if you use activated carbon, that helps with removing some of the dark colored tannins. But the bad thing about that is, like I said, is those tannins are healthy for the fish. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of like a little indecisive on this yet. And the plants, they're getting nibbled at, as you can see that they're floating up at the top here. So the plants they're doing well, but they're just not growing tall at all. Because you can see that the oh, what do you call it, they're not sprouting, but like shooting underneath the substrate like they're supposed to, and then they're supposed to grow out, but they just don't get much taller. Like they've been this length since I first bought them, and they're obviously doing what they're supposed to and growing, but they're not going to get very tall because the fish keep nibbling at them. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Um, I guess I can show you each one of these tanks too. These are a mix between lemon jakes, red Apache, and ruby reds. You can see here that, especially this guy down here, he's creating himself a home, and he's claiming this whole entire left side of the tank. So this is my project here too, is I'm going to remove some of these males and put them in my 220 over there. But a lot of these are female, but I wanted to move these males over, and then this is where my 200 tank is going to go, in this area. And I'm more than likely, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to separate these shelves here, because you can separate these into two different shelves. Is I'm going to probably put one of these shelves over here, and I'll leave it right here, and then it'll leave room to open up for the 200 tank that I can place here. And I might be able to just leave these two here, and not have to mess with them then, is what I'm hoping. But we'll see how everything looks. At least that's my plan. So, and then these guys are lithobates, but you can't really, these lithobates, they don't gain like hardly any color until they get closer to adults. So they're kind of washed out colors right now, because they just don't gain their color until they're maybe a year or more older. I think these guys are actually almost a year old now, and they still need to gain color. A lot of females in this one too. There's a couple blue dolphins in here too as well. Like one right there, one in the rocks there. So you can tell that this one here is starting to gain a little bit of color right there, but it's going to be a while. And then of course you have I have some lemon jakes in here. You can see that this one here in the up front and this one here, they're really active and showing their color because of all the females that are in here, but they also fight over them. No killings or anything like that, which is good. Some chases, but nothing real relentless yet. But when they grow up, they have like these really beautiful blue faces with the yellow body. I think these guys are going to turn out to look really neat. I'm just worried about the colors washing out when I put them in the 220, because they might be lower on the hierarchy. And then these are just the baby ones. These are all OB peacocks. So, and this one obviously is a male. And these are the ones I'm probably going to be giving to Aquatica Aquarium Gallery here in near Cleveland. So that's kind of my whole plan. Just about done with this one, so I'll be able to fill this one up here momentarily. Yeah. With a little fish in here, I usually can get away with doing about a 40% water change. Even about a month, everything's usually okay. Okay. Let me go over to the other room, get the water running again. Speaker's fine. All right, so let me get the water running over there. Get that started up. Welcome back. Who's all still in chat? The last message I got was at 10:52. Thank you for that, Ian. And the last one before that was at 10:44. So who's still with me? Who do I still have hanging on here? 76. It might actually move up to 78. It's kind of nice to be able to chat with you guys. The mystery peacocks that I couldn't remember the name of, I was told were German glacier blues. Not a big African cichlid person, but they are pretty. I haven't heard of those. Let me put some water conditioner in here real quick. Let me look those up, Cheryl. Mystery peacocks. German glacier blues. Okay, let me look those up real quick while I'm waiting. German vibrant line vibrant of peacocks, icy blue coloration, and striking metallic sheen. These Lake Malawi natives are highly sought after their peaceful temperament. They reach about 4 to 6 inches. Oh yeah, they're definitely a vibrant blue, that's for sure. Really vibrant. Glacier blue. That's definitely a vibrant blue for sure. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. I don't know if I can, let's see if I can do this here. Share screen. Let me see here. There we go. Glacier blue. I can just that is really vibrant. It's got that little red fin to it. Very pretty, Cheryl. Thanks for that. That's really cool. Definitely vibrant. I like it. Thanks, Cheryl. If I were still in the process of having a peacock and hap tank, all male tank, I would look that up on Imperial Tropicals or Fish website and then probably buy it if I was still doing that. Very, very, very pretty fish, though. You still with us, Ian? Wonder if Ash is still watching. Hopefully my phone battery won't die in the process of. Blue dolphin fry. Okay, Ian's still in here. Thanks, man. Cheryl said, let's see here. He also just gave me a group of blue dolphin fry. You're all in it. It's all or nothing, right? Okay, Ian, just feeding the fish. I just did that a little bit ago before the water changes, so. Yeah, Cheryl, from what I know and from my experience, that the haps seem to be a lot less aggressive than the peacocks. I've decided to probably keep my 220 as an all peacock tank. just for the fact of I feel like if I put any haps in there, it'll probably just be a test to see how it goes. Um, but I'm just really afraid because sometimes the peacocks can be a little bit more relentless than the haps usually are, as far as aggression goes. Whereas the haps, they might do like an occasional chase just to claim their territory, and then they might just let everyone go. Whereas the peacocks, I've seen them go from one side of the tank to the other until the problem is solved. But that's in my experience, though. Hence my my channel name, right? This is usually the waiting game process, waiting for things to drain, and then waiting for things to fill up. So at least I'm here to talk to you guys and that sort of thing. And I like the blue dolphins too. Yeah, they don't hide at all. Sometimes it depends on the fish too, but I know that the dolphins, they usually don't hide a whole lot. Now, if you happen to because I have blue dolphins in my frontosa tank, and they, I'm just watching the water levels. I guess I could watch the water levels here, but um, yeah, they don't hide as much. And I put them in my frontosa tank because they have that, that nuchal hump, along with their frontosa, so it's a good combination. But they don't really, they stay pretty active and up front. And they don't really go behind the rocks or nothing unless they get spooked or something like that. But that would be the only reason why. But I've had really good experience with them so far. There was one that got aggressive upstairs for a little bit, and I think he kind of more or less just chases them around, but doesn't do anything real relentless. Um, the dolphins that you saw down here, I'm hoping I can add those into my frontosa tank without any issues, but we'll see what their frontosa tank boss says about that. It'll be a test. But I do like the blue dolphins a lot. They're probably one of my favorite fish. One of them, along with the frontosa, of course. So yeah, been going good so far. Trying to do different things down here in the fish room, and getting this 200-gallon tank is going to be um, a new home for the geos and everybody else in there in my in-wall setup. And then it'll help me make room for something else in the in-wall, like I said, with the angelfish, do something different. And then kind to probably go from there. It'd be nice to have the imbunas in a bigger tank too. I feel like they'd be happier as well. But we'll see what these 60s and 75-gallon tanks do for me. Because once I'm done with these grow out tanks, I'll be able to put whatever I want in these fish tanks, which would be really nice. Another tank down. Hey, Greg. Thanks for coming in. Doing some water changes today. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I might do I might pin something on the chat just to see you came in and say hey. So I know that you came in and stopped by for a little bit. Let's see. Greg says, I'm thinking of going all native fish to my area, like Maple Street Aquatics. Awesome. That'll be awesome to do. Cold water aquatics. Okay. DOC has so many restrictions on Missouri natives. So I was thinking, like, when you say like natives, does that mean like I would go out and get like bluegill or something and put them in my fish room? Like stuff that's like out in the wild and put them in your fish tank? Or like bass or something like that? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I think that would be kind of neat. You would have to have some pretty big fish tanks for that, I bet. But I think it'd be really cool. It would be really neat if you could have like a pond like outside and somehow do like what zoos have to where they could see it like down below. So you could see the whole entire aquascape and everything down below. Then you can go up top and see the fish from up top and even outside. So you can not only enjoy it um, down here, like down in the fish room, but you could also enjoy it outside. I think that would be a crazy idea to go with. You'd have to have some solid building plans and glass thickness, and it would be a lot to work with, but that would be crazy. If I could go fishing every weekend, I probably would too, but I just don't have the time, especially when you have kids. Let me see if I can pin a message on the top so that way, let me see here. Yeah, bass, crappie, bluegill, shiners, crawfish, the whole thing. That would be an awesome setup. You'd have to have a pretty large tank for that, I bet. So I will pin this at the top. So that way people know that, hey, say hi. But I appreciate each and every one of you at least stopping by, at least even for a few minutes. I'm going to clean the glass on my planted tank here because it's pretty dirty. So as I'm cleaning this glass, I'll wait for this stuff to fill up. Got 79% battery life on my phone, so I'm doing good so far. Man, this glass on this planted tank is pretty bad. I actually might wait. I did the side and I realized how much worse it actually even made it look. I know the filter will pick that up too, but this glass is really, really, really dirty. I might just wait till I take some of this water out while I'm cleaning the glass and taking the water out at the same time. That's nuts. Just from the one side panel was pretty dirty. Yeah, I'll wait till I get to that one actually. So that way whenever whatever I'm cleaning will get sucked into the pump. Hello again, Ian. Yeah, he's got some pretty rare fish too. I know Curtis is all about having fish that you wouldn't see normally at any fish store or anything that's store bought. He likes all the rare fish too. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit. It's set for 79, or it's 79. I'm going to turn it down to 77, I think. It's a little warm in here. A little too warm for my taste. Even for the fish, I think that's still a little too warm. Yeah, I like Curtis's fish room. It's very unique. He doesn't show a whole lot of it. He doesn't really do a whole lot of live streaming per se, but he does have a lot of unique little fish. What plans do you guys have? Cheryl, Ian, me? Other than this was my only plan for today, other than going to my parents' house later. This is all the plans that I had for today. Are you far from Curtis, Cheryl? Or are you just thinking of taking like a road trip down there? Or over there, I should say. I don't think my wife and daughter are going to story time in family. I think my daughter really wants to spend time with me today. Because I can still hear him upstairs. I think story time was supposed to be at 11. It's now a quarter after 11. So I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, I don't really show the fish room a whole lot. I think these guys are still a little bit stressed out from everything. The Mbunas over here, they're just like, yeah, we'll be fine. Every time I do a water change, I feel like these guys just get a little bit stressed out. Okay, 6 hours. That isn't bad. Northeast of him, straight north of M&C Mike. Okay, that's not bad at all. That's definitely doable for sure. Okay, Ian. Well, thanks for hanging out. No work today? Or you probably done with work? You probably worked earlier. But yeah, 6 hours, that ain't bad. My cousins live about 6.5 hours away, and they're in Kentucky. So that's not a bad drive at all. But yeah, I really don't share my fish room a whole lot because right now I'm just going through a transition phase and it's been happening for a while now as far as fish room goes. Of transitioning and trying to have less peacock and haps and more of a variety is the whole plan. So once I move 2 of these 4 fish tanks over here, it'll leave room for me to do other things with, have different fish in and not just peacock and haps and African cichlids. I want to get German blue rams in my 20-gallon long over here that's next to me. So that would be something I want to do for sure. Almost done here. Yep, water's still about 77, so that's good. Keep on keeping on. I love those Python hooks. It's just so nice just to be able to go from one tank to another and from all this area, turn the quarter turn off, and then move to the next tank, open it back up. It's just so simple, especially with, this Ultra Zero pump. It does what it needs to. Very convenient. Now, what I'm debating about doing actually, while I'm waiting for the tanks to drop and fill up, is I was thinking of draining the 220 now, so that way, because it's going to take a little bit longer to drain, obviously, but so that way, whenever I'm ready to add water into it, that it'll be all ready to go. Back in at work tomorrow. These are 55s, captivating. I haven't recognized this name. Are you new for the live stream? If so, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. And stopping in and saying hi. These are 55s behind me. If I were to do something different, I would make them 75s, but I'm okay with how they are right now because it was the reason why I made them as 55s because long story short, gave me enough room behind them to do maintenance on, and it also lines up with the what do they call them? Since this is in a basement, this fish room, you have the structure like the beams that are in the basement. The wall is right in line with those beams too, so I don't have to like like the wall was built when I first moved in this house. There's a whole video about how I set this up before this wall was even here. Because when I first moved in this house, this wall wasn't even here. So we built this, my brother and I, and we put that wall and lined it up with the structure beams that are down here in the basement. Um, so that way I wouldn't have to work around those beams. And for that reason also is the reason why I picked 55 gallons, because it gave me just enough room to be able to do all my maintenance and work and that sort of thing. Back to work tomorrow, huh? You must have a different schedule too, kind of like me. My schedule is just all over the place sometimes, but I have several days off, so I'm doing good. Um, German Blue Rams, I got them as 1-inch juvies about 4 months ago, and they have grown and colored up nicely. Well, that's good. That's one of my, I guess I could say, bucket list fish per se, but that's not really like a grand scheme of, usually bucket list fish is something like, oh, this is so rare, I want to get something that's rare and neat to have. But that's one thing I want to do. And if they breed, then so be it. And if not, no worries. I just want to have them just because they're really, really pretty. Just like you said, they've grown and colored up nicely. So that's really good to hear. Are you looking to breed those as well, Cheryl, or are you just having them just for enjoyment? I'm just going to try to get as many Cory tanks water changed before I stop to make dinner. I'm off work until I get my truck fixed this weekend. Oh no, what's wrong with your truck? Yeah, that's like you said, you had quite a few Cory tanks. I'm curious as to I don't know, like, are you selling fish then with are you Cory's? Are you giving them to other YouTubers, or are you giving them to local fish stores? What do you end up doing with all your Cory's? Do you have like a small business or anything, Cheryl? Hey Tim, ooga booga, oogie boogie, boogie 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 boogie. That's my friend Tim. Everyone say hi to Tim. Him and I game a lot during the evenings. Um, I'm gonna. I was thinking of draining this 220 now, but the only way I could do is to drain it into the brute trash can, and I might bring the other bigger trash can in here, actually, because it holds obviously a lot more water. I have a bigger trash can. I'm gonna go get it real quick. Hang on a second. This beast. Tell you that every time I do water changes, it's always a different way of doing things. Oh, okay. So you're on the YouTube auctions, like what? Oh, where like David Elfish, whenever they do that auction, the rams are for enjoyment. I think I would do the same thing. Yep, me too. That's what I would do here. Okay, sweet. Thanks for stopping by, Tim, and saying hello. I'm going to start draining the 220. Start the water change on that one. Let me see here. Forget how I did this before. I think I used an extension cord for this. That way I could reach to wherever I needed to go. There's a method to my madness, I promise. As there is a method to everything, to everyone's madness. I think I mixed that up a little bit. I think I was planning to do the planted tank first, and I totally forgot about it. So it looks like we're doing the 220 next. So let me, yeah, we're doing the 220 next, it looks like. Cool. Almost done filling up the last 75 here. And then we'll switch it up top. No harm, no foul, right? Check the temperature on this too. $77.9, 78. That's perfect. That's like my perfect temperature for me. I'll get back to chat here in a second, so hold on, guys. I hope this lavalier battery lasts. That'd be nice. All these hoses and everything going on, I'm surprised, knock on wood, that the stream has been going smoothly so far. No audio or visual problems. I haven't dropped my phone yet, so that's a plus. All right, waiting for another to fill up. Close this lid over here. We're doing good. Can't complain. All right, back to you guys. Oh, you can hear me? Yeah, sometimes it might cut out a little bit, but should be all right. I think it's because I stepped away and used that brute trash can. Sometimes it might, the connection between the Rode Wireless Go. This is what I'm using. Hopefully I won't lose you guys while I'm doing this. Yeah, I'll get you full screen. Ooh. Cylinder and brake booster went out on my truck at work Monday. Oh my goodness. Had to order the parts and waiting on them. That sucks. Man, that's probably a costly expense. I'm sorry to hear about that, Cheryl. Hey, thanks for becoming a new member. I think you were a member at one point, weren't you, Tim? So thank you for that. I appreciate it. So welcome in, Tim. Appreciate it. Anyways, back to what I'm using here. Let me full screen myself here. I'm using this thing called a Rode Wireless Go 2. How much battery do I got left in this beast? I still got pretty full battery. That's great. And then what I have here is the mic, and I just have this in my pocket, and it's kind of like a Bluetooth. So this just plugs into my pocket, plugged in right here to this box, and I just stick it in my pocket, and I can walk around wherever I want to go. That's what I thought, Tim. I thought you remember before. But thank you. Don't feel obligated, though. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble with this before, but I think the range only goes so far, especially if you're going in between concrete walls, you know, that you can have sometimes some struggle, especially here in the basement. I'm having these coasters. Anybody recognize this? What channel that's from? If anyone guesses where this is from. I'm drinking vitamin water or whatever. Yeah, vitamin water. Red vitamin water. That is it. Nothing fancy in here. Parts alone are $350, not paying someone else to fix it since I can't work this week. So I get to lay on the floorboard and try not to bust my knuckles in the tight space. That's the hardest part too, sometimes too, Cheryl. Sometimes if things are easy enough to fix, you can do it yourself and figure it out. You'll spend half the money, and then the only downside is you have to get, you know, a little bit dirty on the floor and stuff. But some of them, like especially these newer cars, especially some of these newer cars, like there's almost no room to work with. Like my buddy Tim in here, Shadow Shrug. A really weird spot to put a battery is either one, you have to remove the bumper, or two, you have to go behind the wheel well. So instead of a battery where it normally sits, like you would see any other vehicle, like in the front, either left-hand side, more than likely the driver's side, and you just take the harness off or you take the bracket off and then you just pull the battery out. You either have to take the bumper off or you have to take the wheel well covers off and go in there to the side area and take your tire off just to replace the battery. It's weird. What are you talking about, Tim? Jose's got all the discus and angelfish and all that, so mainly discus. Jose's fish tanks are absolutely beautiful. The Oscars is there's someone on here. Her name is, well, it used to be only Oscars. I think she might have changed her name, but she doesn't really get on live. She just chats with everybody else. But Jesse's the one that has the big Oscars, Saline Aquatics. And there's a few other people here that have Oscars too. But yeah, Jose Joy of Fish Keeping, he's got the beautiful discus fish tanks. These guys are, looks like these guys are slowly getting back to, they're still a little stressed, I think, but I think they'll get over it. For some reason, this fish tank here, the Central and South Americans, do I want this molly? No, I do not. I don't do mollies anymore. But thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. I don't have anywhere to put it. I don't think I would even put him in with the angelfish in my 20-gallon long. It's just a regular black molly, isn't it? But yeah, these Central and South Americans, especially like the geos and stuff, it seems like whenever I do water changes, I have to have $10 to take him. It just seems like they kind of go under like a little bit of a stress mode until, you know, they kind of get used to everything. Fancy molly. It is fancy. Water change is going good. I'm almost done filling up this one. I'll show you guys over here my 220, what I'm doing over here. But I just use this brute trash can and then just emptying it from here. And then just pumping it with this over to the bathroom. So just about done with this one. So I'll be ready to fill it up. And then I'll start draining the, I might wait a little bit to start draining the planted tank. Just because this 220 is just going to be a lot to put in, obviously. Got to put like 100 gallons on a 40% water change. Probably about a 50 on this one. But it's going good. I can't complain. Tim's trying to pay me to take his fish. My dad was a mechanic and talked me through removing the old parts already. Easy, just time consuming since there's no room to fully utilize a socket wrench. Yeah, that's hard. You have to get like those wrenches that like it's like an attachment that it can bend, but they're kind of wonky to work with. Yes, thank you. Everyone, make sure to like the live stream if you stop by, and share it if you want. I was going to share it on Discord, but I forgot. Almost done with my 60-gallon breeder. My sponge filters are looking a little like they need some maintenance, though. I don't think I've done maintenance on my sponge filters in quite some time. They could probably use some TLC. I'm going to stop my 220. I have to watch on this 60-gallon breeder that I'm working on now because the very top of it leaks. So if I fill this up too much, it will start leaking off the top left side, which isn't a big issue. It's literally just the very top. And I think the silicone just must not have seated all the way, which is about now. So let me go into the other room. Oh, wobble socket. Yeah, it does make things easier, but they are kind of finicky to work with. So let me go to this one. And then I got to give myself a little bit more room here. All right, check the water temperature real quick, and then we should be good. You got to add some water conditioner to it, of course. 78, still looking good. Wonder if my wife and daughter and son, the whole family, wonder if they did end up going somewhere today instead of story time. Nope, I still hear them. I don't think they went. All right, there's that. I am going to do a water change on my 20-gallon long. Um, I'm going to wait to take some water out on the planted tank yet. I probably could. There's a air bubbles going in there, so if even it sits for a little bit, it'll be all right. I think I will actually. Yeah, wobble sockets are nice to have. All right, Cheryl, got supplies out and have let the dogs back in. Time to get back to work. Bye, Cheryl. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Back to school work, Tim. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Tim. See you later, man. All right, so I decided I am going to empty this planted tank because I want to be able to wipe the glass because the 220 is going to take a while to fill back up. So I might as well just empty this one. There's a couple air stones in it. It'll be fine if the water tank level is low for a little bit. The fish will just be a little stressed, but and I want to do like a 50% water change on this one too. So I want to be able to wipe the glass down while I'm doing the emptying the water. I am going to unplug the filter. And that's just something I do. Let me I could probably point the camera to the planted tank really. I could bring you guys with me while the 220 is filling up. So let me go here. I'll bring you guys with me with all this corded mess. Might as well full screen it too. There we go. Oh yeah, I haven't really decided what I want to do with this tank quite yet. Let me empty this trash can real quick. I have a wonky way of doing things, but it works for me. I guess that's the important part. And I've been doing it this way for a while. Let's see here. You know you want to. This glass was really dirty. Really dirty. I don't have a Pleco to suck the algae off of it. I bet you if I stick a Pleco in here though, like a Brussels, it'll probably help with the side glass, but then all the plants will be gone. Very dirty, that's for sure. This light on this tank too is pretty powerful, but there's much water tannins that get in here. And how powerful this light is, it just gets algae on the top. I'm probably gonna end up cleaning that uh like glass lid today too, because that thing gets pretty green pretty quick with this light. So that looks much gooder. Much gooder. Get some of these leaves up here. That's much gooder. Happy hump day to all you guys and girls out there. I'm gonna try to take some of this water out. Sweet. Hey, there goes my Higer heater. It hit the low. That's what that beeping is. So it still works. I was like, what's that beeping noise? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So I just hit the set button on there on the side. So for anyone who hasn't seen the video, I got a new Hygger heater. I guess I could have just brought the phone over here with you, with this heater here. But anyone who hasn't seen it, I have this new Hygger heater that's up here. I can give you a front view here. So I don't even have to unplug this heater at all whatsoever, because it'll shut off on its own once it detects a low level. So you just hit that set button on the bottom to turn the alarm off. The heater still stays off, and then by the time that the sensor hits this heater, when it fills back up, the heater will turn back on its own. It's pretty nice. It's a cool video if you haven't seen it too. When do you do your filter maintenance? I try to do it, with the canister filters, Ian, I probably do them like every 6 months to a year, depending on if I have pre-sponge filters on them. If I have pre-sponge filters on them, then I usually do them every 6 months to a year, even like closer to a year, and they still look okay. But as far as like the sponge filters, the actual sponges themselves, I honestly am really bad at that. That's something I wish I could be better at, because that's one thing I just don't think about doing, and I wish I was better at. I'd like to try to do them at least every few months or so, just to squeeze them out in tank water or whatever. I really should do them now. I mean, it'd be a good time to, but I already did water changes, and that's the best time to do them, is when you're doing a water change. While you're taking the filters out and making a mess, that water will take out all the dirty water with it, which I know is good beneficial bacteria, but it kind of kills two birds with one stone. So essentially, I like to do the sponge filters every few months or so. But a lot of times I forget about it, and it's probably been more than 3 months in the sponge filters. But canister filters, I probably do every 6 months to a year, depending on if I have a pre-sponge on it. And I need to do it on the 220 tank, because I want to see how those FX6s are doing. With the new media in it, because I did a video on that as well. If you have on changing out the internal media of the FX6s from Pond Guru's idea, which I love Pond Guru. He's a really intelligent guy, and I've learned a lot from just his videos alone. I'm putting some stuff away while I'm at it here. So the tank I need to empty now is my 20-gallon long, and I do that manually, just without a pump. So yeah, it's been good. Good day so far. Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Let me go check out the 220 again. Let you guys see that one. Move this out of the way. Believe it or not, there is a bristlenose pleco in here. I did see the bristlenose pleco in here the other day, because I added him in. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he just must be that stealthy. Yeah, I really like that video. Yeah, I try to get to those, but with water change and stuff, but I just forget about them so much. And I have 2 sponge filters per tank, as you probably already seen. So it helps to double filtrate, with these tanks. But I really honestly should do my sponge filter maintenance pretty soon. I should have done it today and I just didn't think about it. The only thing bad about doing sponge filter maintenance is it gets messy, and I think I'm going to do that on my own time. I think that's why I decided not to do it this time. Oh, I did not add water conditioner. Hold on a second. Forgot about the water conditioner in the 220. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait and do the sponge filter maintenance on my own time because it can get messy, and with all the like different cords and stuff and trying to do a live stream at the same time. It's just a lot easier just to do the water changes, maybe clean the glass a little bit, sort of thing. But I think it's just a lot easier for me to do that on my own time because when I'm taking sponge filters out, water just gets everywhere, and I could do the whole bag, put the filter in a bag and that sort of thing. But honestly, I just pull them out. It's in a basement down here. There's floor drains down here, so it's just like if I get water on the floor, it's like to me, it's kind of like The only time I do have an issue with water getting somewhere is if it's like in this area here in front of these in-wall subs because there's no floor drain like right here, and there's a lot of electric stuff as far as like connections to my computer and to my microphones and that sort of thing, to my laptop. So that's the only time I ever kind of worry about water being anywhere is around here. Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I think so too. I appreciate it. The only thing I might do, maybe in the meantime, is I might clean the rocks up on my 220. And that was the whole reason why too that I got a bristlenose pleco too, because I was hoping to hopefully once that I think that pleco it's probably going to take him some time to grow, and I'm hoping that he makes it. Um, but I might have to just manually clean the rocks up myself. He was a lot smaller. He looked bigger in store than he did like when I put him in with the peacock and haps or the peacocks in here. So he did kind of run away, and I just feel like he's just hiding a lot because he's a lot smaller. So I'm hoping once he gets acclimated and the peacocks don't harass him, I'm hoping that he'll do just fine. But we'll see. This is kind of like a test for me to see if he lasts and if he ends up cleaning the rocks up too. So it'll be interesting. I am going to do a water change upstairs, but it will not be a part of this live stream. So once I'm done with the 220 and the Planet tank, then that's when I'll end my live stream. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, Ian. I think he should adapt, and I'm hoping the peacocks won't harass him too much. This is the benefit of having big fish tanks and doing water changes is you can kind of watch chat more as opposed to if I was doing a bunch of little fish tanks like I'd used to. I couldn't multitask at the same time because there were 10 and 20 gallons. So the water changes would go by super quick, and I'd have to pay more focus attention on those than with the big tanks. I can actually sit down for a few minutes and chat with you guys, which is nice. With all you lovely people. I must have left my. I usually have two of those black plugs. I must have left them. Left one upstairs for my Frontosa tank. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, Ian. You're the lone survivor. They're starting to get more comfortable. They might be a little stressed still, but they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable now. For some reason, this tank, for some reason, it happens every water change, like I said, where they just kind of go through like a shock phase and then they kind of revamp themselves. But they'll be fine. Like I said, the Mbunas, it doesn't, water changes never seems to phase them. Anyone who comes in, make sure you say hi and let me know you're in here. Just like the pin comment says. I appreciate it. Anyone who's on Facebook or on Twitch, feel free to like the stream, say hello. Yeah, he's got a hiding place. All those, the Aqua Decor background has all sorts of different places to hide, even if it's not underneath the rocks. I saw him pop in a couple times. One yesterday, and you really have to look for him because that was the first time I'd seen him in several days. So I thought he might have got destroyed, but I did see him pop in here and there. But the Aqua Decor background has a lot of different crevices and things for him to hide into. So that way, if a peacock tends to go after him, oh, I just saw him there too. He's underneath the rocks right now. He's swimming around. So the very bottom of the Aqua Decor is where he's at. If I could zoom with my phone, I would show you guys. But I can actually see him swimming around on the bottom there. So he's got plenty of places to hide, even if he has to go to the back of the background. Turn on my filters. So yeah, he's definitely got places to hide in the little crevices of that rock. So every little break in the rocks that you see is probably big enough for him to slide into. And even like underneath where the sand meets the rocks on the bottom of the Aqua Decor background, that's where I just saw him swimming around at. So he's doing all right. I thought about putting that bristlenose pleco in. You know, you can't see him real well. I thought about putting him in there because he's probably twice the size of the one that's in the peacock tank now, if not more. But I thought about transferring him from this tank into that tank just because he's twice as big. Because I currently have 3 bristlenose pleco in the fish room down here. One I got from Jody P. The one that's in here I got just from my local fish store just for this tank. And then I've always debated about doing it for my 220. So we'll see how things go. Been on here for an hour and 51 minutes. So once I get the 220 filled and they're planted, then we'll end the live stream. Fruit trash cans are amazing to have. They have such multi-uses for them. Yeah, it might be. It might be, Ian. We'll see how this first one goes. This is kind of like the guinea pig. He's kind of like the test subject per se. Which I know it's kind of, I hate saying that, but I'm kind of amazed about it, to be honest. I've never put a bristlenose pleco in with a African cichlid tank. I've heard people do it before and they have success with it. So See, I started doing water. I started this live stream at 10 o'clock. Normally, it takes me, if I'm really going at it, not worrying about obviously a live stream or anything else. It usually, if I can really like focus on everything, and I'm using multiple pumps and hoses, I can get all my water changes done in 2 hours down here. And I've been doing this live stream for about 2 hours with the about 10-minute work of camera work and stuff. So yeah, that's what all these are. And the 220, they're all African cichlids. Peacocks and haps, they're all African cichlids from Lake Malawi. Same with the imbunas. The Lake Tanganyika is also African cichlids. They are friend of the Frontosa tank, same thing. And then all the four, the 260s and 275s are grow-outs. And then the 75 planted tank, I'm starting to call the failed planted tank. But yeah, those are all just community fish with some savrums in there. But this is a Central and South American tank, like the geophagus, the firemouth, the savrums, the yo-yo loaches, the redhead topos, which they still need some color to them. Like this is my Central and South American tank that I would like to think, or I'd like to hope to transform it into like an angelfish tank. Because I think they'll do a lot better. Angelfish will do a lot better in here just because of their tall fins and they're a lot more slim bodies. As opposed to these fish, which will get large. As you can tell, the geos are already getting really big. I mean, this one's already like the span of my hand right now. Same with that guy. So they're gonna grow up to be probably, you know, at least 3-4 more inches bigger than that, and they need the swim space. Same with the fire mouse and even the sevrums. They'll get really big too. They'll probably get around the same size as the geos, you know, as far as length goes, and they'll get real big and round. So that's why I got this 200-gallon tank from Marketplace here on this weekend, is because I want these fish to have more swimming room and transform this one into a beautiful angelfish tank. $220 is almost full, guys. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Check the level here. We're pretty much set. Just about. A little bit longer. What a difference water changes make. Everything's so much more clear. The fish are generally pretty, like you can almost tell that the fish are just happier too. Yeah, that pucko is definitely in there on the bottom scurrying around, which is good. Trying to remember the day I bought it. I think it's been a couple weeks now. I try to tank up pretty, just because this tank, the way that the glass lids are, there's a lot of open space in this tank, so the evaporation on this tank is actually quite a bit. All right. So this one's I'm pretty happy with. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the water. So I'll be right back. A little bit of reverse. Then I'll go to the planet tank, and then I'll move the camera over there too. Well, I'll leave the trash can out of here. And we're done. I gotta switch the water back over, test the temperature. Still 78 degrees. So we're still rocking out at the temperature that I want it to be. So let's move back over there. I can adjust this. So we can keep an eye on that. Gotta add my water conditioner. I think you guys can still hear me. Yeah. Hey, Select Pet, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. Yeah, us Americans, we're a bunch of weirdos. For the longest time, I thought that everyone else was the weirdos, and apparently, the more I found out, um, that a lot of the world goes by Celsius and not Fahrenheit. So apparently, we're the weirdos. That was the last fish tank to empty out, other than my 20 long. But like I said, whenever I do the 20 long, I'm just going to go ahead and do myself. But I'll show you guys the angelfish I got from Jody P. Wonder if my wife and daughter's still watching. Wonder if they popped in here and there. I'm just putting some stuff away while I'm waiting for the water to fill up, or the tank to fill up. But you guys can watch the fish and do your thing. A lot of times with these long live streams, what I do, even if I'm like at either at work or doing whatever, if I'm on the computer doing bills or something, I'll just leave it on as background noise to listen in to give people that watch time hour. So, Ian, you're a trooper for hanging out with me this long. I appreciate it. Put away. Yeah, my wife and daughter definitely did not go to story time today. And now that I'm waiting for that to fill up. Yeah, 24 to 27. So that would be like 74 to 77 for me, Ian. Yeah, they showed up early. You might have been away doing other stuff, but my daughter came in and she was talking. She actually came downstairs and just for personal preference, we don't have my daughter and my son and daughter on Facebook or social media, and if they are, we cover their faces. So that's just as a personal preference for us. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very fluent with Celsius, so when people say that, I'm just like, wait a minute, how's that go again? But yeah, once I'm done, well, I could probably at least empty the water on my 20-gallon long. At least I can go that far and then just replace it. Might as well now that I got the hose out. So let me do that real quick. I usually use a bucket. I think that's what I normally do. So let me just do that real quick. Because it won't take much longer for that 75 to fill up. So let me just do this real quick. And it'll only be like a 20% water change because since there's only 4 fish in here, it's not a whole lot to be concerned with. I think these angelfish in here, they are getting a little bit more brave because whenever I did water changes before, they would kind of be afraid of the tube that goes into the tank. But now they kind of doesn't phase them. And their trailers on here, once I show you, Ian, and anyone else who's watching, I'm monitoring my 75 gallon on the live stream since I can't see it from this side. But yeah, the angelfish, their long trails are looking really pretty right now. Their high fins and their long trailers underneath them. They're really starting to show some really neat looks to them. All right, here's one bucket. Usually takes a couple buckets. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but long story short, I'm just using a tube and a bucket for water changing my 20-gallon long because it's just quicker that way while I'm waiting. It won't take long for this to do. That's good enough. 40%. Actually did a little bit more than I wanted to, but that's all right. It'll be enough. Filter back on too. Should be good. Perfect. Starts up just the way I want it to, with no issues. That's the goal, right? Oh, thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. Yeah, it takes practice. Practice makes perfect. And like I said, I can do everything normally. I can do everything down here in about 2 hours. Yeah, and that heater just kicked back on too, the Higer heater from that video I showed you, or that you've seen, Ian, and anyone else who's on here still. That heater definitely just kicked back on its own. I think that's the best heater I think I've ever worked with. I absolutely love that heater, and I'm like 50-50 on Higer products, as you all know. Respect. Thank you, Ian. Hats off to you for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours. I appreciate it, I really do. But I've really been impressed with this Higer heater. I've never seen anything like it. I know that they have different variations and versions of it, but I really have honestly so far, for the short amount of time that I've had it, and hopefully it will be it'll keep continuing to work. But for a heater to just be able to turn on, and when you're doing maintenance and water changes, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to touch it. It just does what it needs to do. That's wonderful. But you see what I mean about, I'll kind of full screen this one too. You see what I mean about this? How much that the water tannins really darken the water. I had to clean the glass too, but you see like the turquoise that you see in this turquoise rainbow, and the Doritos, they have this red and silver checker to them throughout their entire body. You have one angelfish in here. But then you have like these Severums, which you hardly see because they're dark. So that's why I'm debating about changing the background or doing something different with this. But this tank water just gets so dark with the tannins that you hardly see any of the color in any of these fish, especially with like the redfin, the sharks in here. It makes such a big difference when I do a 50% water change. So that's why I was debating, should I put activated carbon in here to help with the water tannins? Or should I just take the driftwood out completely and just get fake wood? I don't know. I'm kind of indecisive. I like the natural look. That's the only thing that kind of sucks, is I really, really like the natural look in here. So I hate to take away from that, you know. And the turquoise rainbows, they have such a funky look to them. I think that's why I like them so much, especially this one here in the back. It's got like a pointy nose. It's pretty neat. So this is good. I just got to take this over to my 20-gallon long, and then I'll be done. And I'll bring the phone over there too. I think this will reach. It should. I just think I got enough hose. I think I got enough of those to go over here. In different area codes. Oh, I gotta turn the water on, that's right. And get like a slight pinch of water conditioner. This is good. Bring you guys here. This is where Jody P's angelfish I got from her. I'll bring it to full screen here. Let me set you guys down. Yeah. It's called a midnight pleco. So I think he'll be happier in another tank for now and a way for him to grow up. It's called a blue phantom pleco now that I think of it. It's a blue phantom pleco. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for this to fill up and then I'll be done. I gotta add water conditioner to this thing too. I just now thought of that too. Like barely any water conditioner to this. You gotta think this Seachem Safe, you use a fourth a teaspoon for every 300 gallons, and I have an eighth of a teaspoon right now, and that's like barely anything in that eighth a teaspoon, which is crazy. That might even be too much, but you can overdose it. It even says that you can overdose that, and then fish will be just fine. So I'm not too concerned. Maybe I'll do a walk around before I'm done too. Um, yes, I will. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I need to get something to put some, because the only thing that sucks is with activated carbon, you have to replace it like once a month. So I think my carbon has been well exhausted. So I just have to replace that every so often. And I believe the filter they have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, should be on the top of the filter. So I shouldn't have to go through anything on the bottom and take everything out. But we'll see. All done for the fish room down here. Purigen. I've never used Purigen. Have you? I've always just gotten the activated carbon, but I've heard really good things about Purigen. I know that you can reactivate it apparently after you like rinse it out, I think with like warm water or something, so you can like reuse it. So I think that might be something I could look into as opposed to activated carbon. like the black ones, like the black and white, you know, speckled ones. But have you used it, Ian? And anyone else who's on here? Let me know. Ian, I need to find an affiliate link. Because I know that they sell this heater on Amazon, and it'll probably be quicker, especially if you have Amazon Prime. But I know that if you use an affiliate link, which I need to find, if I can find that, you have to actually buy it directly through Higer's website. So I don't know how comfortable you are with that, but I can send you the link for that. And then that way I'll get a little bit of I'll get a little bit of back from whatever you buy. A little bit comes back on my end. And if I earn so much, then it's a little bit of commission for me. It won't cost you anything extra because you're still just buying the same thing. But it'll just get a little bit of a kickback for me if I make a certain amount, you know, between all the Higer products. You know, if I don't find the affiliate link, then I'll just send you the Amazon link, and you can kind of go from there, and that's fine too. Because I don't think I'm going to earn enough, honestly, to hit that mark. Because I've never seen anything from them, so. And that's what I thought too. But if I can't find the affiliate link, Ian, then I'll send you the Amazon link. But it's been a while since I've been on the affiliate link for this, so I'll just send the Amazon link more than likely because I thought I saved it, but I don't know. But let's go through the fish room real quick, check everybody out, see how everyone's doing with my phone, give you a little closer view of everything, and then we will head out. And I'm going to do my water change upstairs on my own. Upstairs, my Frontosa tank is kind of like my special tank that I really don't show a whole often. Your Amazon is different than your. Oh, that's right, because you're in a different country. Okay, we'll figure it out. I'll try to find both the Higer link and the Amazon, and then hopefully you can go from there. Because I know it can be different, so I forgot about that. But yeah, let me go through the fish room. So here we got 3 angels. They're actually full grown. They're supposed to have a hint of blue on the top of their fins, which will be pretty neat. So you can almost see like a blue tint with the specks on the top of this one here, which is pretty neat. So I'm looking forward to seeing these things grow out. So I'm hoping to transfer these guys to the 55-gallon in-wall setup because they're obviously pretty personable. They always go to the front of the tank, and they're never really afraid. Even if you go like this, they might kind of get spooked a little bit, but I think they're really happy. And with this pleco down here, I think it'll look really neat, you know, with these angelfish as well. And then I'm planning to put the German blue rams to replace in here. Because I was going to take this down, but I thought, you know what, German blue rams would be a really neat thing to have. And then, of course, we got the Mbuna tank. These guys are all doing well. I hate to move these guys. I don't think I would ever move these guys just because they've gotten so comfortable in this tank. I haven't moved these guys like in a very long time because I was doing transitions with these guys a bunch between moving them from upstairs to downstairs. And then it was a temporary tank down here before I got this in-wall tank set up. So these guys were doing really good upstairs, and they never hit at all, which these guys don't hide a whole lot unless there's like new people in here that they don't recognize, which is really bizarre. But I moved them from upstairs to down here to temporary tank until I got the in-wall tank set up, and then I moved them from there into here. So these guys have moved around quite a bit, but I think they've just grown accustomed to this tank, and I hardly have to do anything with this tank except for clean the glass and do water changes. So I think that's really neat. And then, of course, these guys are starting to look a little bit better now too. You know, as you know, like I said, with the water changes, it kind of stressed them out a little bit, but give them about an hour or so and they do just fine. Obviously, that Geo is doing great. This is the biggest fish in here. And these fish aren't huge, or these fish aren't, they don't get spooked hardly at all. That's what I like about this fish tank is people that come in here, like if I have someone that buys a fish tank off of me from Marketplace, all these fish are always right up front, and they get to see all these fish, you know, in their true colors, and they get to see them swim around, and it's really neat to see. Like they never hide or nothing. Sometimes the Imbunas like to hide, so that's the only downfall of that. But with my Imbuna tank, but as far as the Central South American tank goes, this is probably I actually like this tank a little bit better than the Imbuna tank, just because of how personable these fish are. And then of course the 220 here, there's a mixture. Most of the time the female of these fish, whenever I was breeding them, because these are all fish that I've bred myself, that the female was OB for the most part. So that's why a lot of these fish in here are going to have that OB variant, just because of the fact that the female is OB. But you have a mixture between OBs, lemon jakes, and oh shoot, I forgot the other name of it. But the dragon blood peacocks. There's one OB right here, which I've never seen before. But this guy here, he is actually an OB dragon blood, which I've never seen before, which I think is pretty neat. But I just think it's nice to see the different color variations that come out in the fish. Even though they're OBs, you still get to see some slight, like one has more blues, one has more yellows, one has more speckles on their fins. Even like some of the dragon bloods, like when you look at it, like especially this guy here, you can see a lot of the speckles on his fins and stuff. And even this guy has got, like, whenever he grows into the adult size, he's killed, all these fish will go about twice the size of this, but you're going to see like a fiery red on that guy, and it's going to look really neat. Same with this guy. Like, it's almost like the guy that's claiming this area down here, he's going to get into like this pinkish orange red color when he's full grown, because he's already starting to look that way. And I think that guy's kind of like the tank boss in a sense, because he's probably one of the going to be the biggest fish, and he claims the spot down here, so that's why he's always so fired up. I think he's going to turn out to look really, really neat. And then of course you got, these are the rest of my grow out process. So I'm going to take probably this guy and put him in the 220. This guy would go in the 220. And then I go down here. I really hope that these blue dolphins, that they grow out so I can put them in my Frontosa tank as the initial plan, but they just need to grow out a little bit more. And these guys need to color up before I decide what I want to do with them. I might just end up keeping all the males in this tank and just have them as just a half tank alone, just for the sulfur head lithobates, just to see what type of color I get out of them. And then I might just move them over, like I was saying earlier, over to the right of the 220. And then these are just lemon jakes, because at the time the female was a lemon jake too. So these guys are full lemon jakes, no OB variant or nothing. So this will be like a real blue face with the yellow body. Same with this one here. So I'll probably move him and him, probably move him over to the 220. So I have some lemon jakes. I'll move this guy that's been claiming this whole entire half side of this tank. So he's probably gonna get moved to the 220. And then these are just OBs. Ruby Red, that's the other name I couldn't think of. So I just now thought of it. And the Ruby Reds, they look, I know this is an OB, but they'll be similar to this. They'll have more of a bluish red to them, like this guy does. So that guy might turn out to look really neat, especially with the speckles on his back fin. But they're looking really neat. So I'm planning to get rid of 2 of these fish tanks, not like get rid of them, but just move them out of the way so I can fit the 200-gallon into this spot, which I'm planning to probably put the 200 right here. I'll take this shelf apart and leave this one here, and then I'll move these 2 over here to the right of the 220 and where the furnace is that heats my fish room. And then over here is obviously the planet tank. That's my not so planet tank. But yeah, I'll probably end up moving that angelfish over to the 55 in wall setup once that's all said and done, and the 220 setup. But that's what I was talking about. I'll probably have to get some Purigen or something like that and put it in my filter and just go from there, I guess. And hopefully that'll help clear up some of the tannins. I like the tannins because it's healthy for the fish, but I don't like the look of it as a personal preference. It does have that natural feel to it, which is good, like in a natural environment. But I just don't like how dark it makes after time goes by. So I might get some Purigen, like you had said, Ian, and put it in there. So, but yeah. That's it. Hello from India. Thanks for coming in, Harsh Kate. If you're still in here, I appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. I was just doing some water changes today. It took me, if you count the live stream setup and everything, it took me 2.5 hours to do. And I still got to put away a few things down here when I'm done. But at any rate, I appreciate everyone's attention. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Thank you for the new people that showed up. Thank you for the originals, that has been following me since the beginning. And thank you, Ian, for hanging out with me the entire live stream. I hope I didn't take up too much of your day today. I'm glad I was able to do this today. Not a whole lot of audience today, which is okay because I know people are working. It's the middle of the week and people are busy. I usually get a lot less people when I do these daytime streams. But it's all right, though. It's been real. It's been fun. And it has been fun to be able to do this again. So it's been a while. But I'm going to go spend some time with my wife and daughter for the rest of the day. And because I know that she's been missing me. And I haven't been doing a whole lot with them because I've been working. And then she came down here earlier. So I need to make sure to do stuff with them the second half of the day today. So at any rate, thanks, Ian. Thanks, everybody else, for coming in. And thank you for watching on my water change day. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. I don't know when the next live stream will be. If I can do it this Friday, I probably will at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll just have to set something up. So, yep, and I'll do that, Ian, for sure. I'll do that once I finish cleaning up stuff down here. Yep, of the heater. Will do. Thanks for the reminder again. All right, we'll see you again next time. Be happy, be healthy, be safe, and then we'll see you next time. Hopefully Friday. See ya.